Good morning. Happy New Year's Eve. You know, tonight is the day that folks celebrate like crazy. They go stand out and they dress up and they have a wonderful time and they cheer and they get excited and they watch fireworks. Yeah, it's not happening in Cheyenne. Currently we have blowing snow and the temperature is a balmy 14 degrees Fahrenheit. And I can guarantee I ain't going outside tonight. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. What the neat thing about living where I do is that when they do shoot off fireworks, it's usually right up the road from us. And so I can go out on the road, look up and watch all the fireworks without actually having to go to the park and deal with lots of people and get ready. Although I know that they're doing a big old party down at the depot where, you know, the train station is. And so you can go down there if you want to. I know they have a big old party. I think people dress up. I think it's going to be princesses and superheroes tonight. And again, it's too cold for me. I'm perfectly happy to stay at home and drink wine or even coffee, because that's what I'm doing here. This says insert coffee. Do you see that? Ta-da! Insert coffee to begin. So welcome to all the people that are going to sit here and watch me. I hope y'all are watching me. Usually what happens on Sunday mornings is I talk about whatever's going on. Reading, writing, random questions from, the people that are watching. What are you doing, Siobhan? I don't know, talking to myself. But most of the time, I have some sort of subject. When I did these live posts on Facebook, you could title them, so I'd have a subject that I could actually think about. But this, of course, is, New Year's Eve. So I guess we could talk about the changeover from the year. The year has been a rough one, to say the least. You could think about the news and the politics and people treating people terribly. You can go on and on and on, which is why I write romance, to be honest. Writing romance is a lot happier. And everybody ends up with a good thing in the end of the day. So that's kind of why I do it. One, it makes me happy. Two, it's an action adventure, exciting, and somebody usually, the bad guy dies. That's my job, is I have to kill off the bad guys. Well, maybe not kill off the bad guys, but they get in trouble and they have to, I don't know if redeem themselves is a good, but they do get caught. So there you go. Hopefully your Sunday is going well and that you are enjoying whatever weather is happening where you live. My friends, of course, in California are still dealing with the remnants of the fires, and folks, in Montana and Colorado and stuff are dealing with, freezing cold temperatures, and right now in Cheyenne we have snow, and so it's kind of obviously a very different depending on where you are. But so this morning what we're basically doing is looking at the last of the Christmas decorations. We took down most of our Christmas decorations, and all we did was leave up the tree, which, eventually it's going to have to come down. I don't want to dig out all the boxes and take all the ornaments off and wrap them up and put them away. But, so that's what's going on with me. I hope you guys are doing well. How long do you leave your Christmas decorations up? This year was the first year when right after Christmas, it was December 26th, and I'm like looking at the stuff around going, all right, let's pack this stuff up. I'm kind of done with it. A lot of people are like, no, we leave it up until mid-January, and I'm going, nah, I'm done with it. Can we get rid of it? Can we just pack it up, put it away? We can wait another 12 months or 11 months or whatever until we have to put it back up. I was ready this year. I was like, I'm done. I'm done celebrating. I'm done baking and getting all sorts of stuff. Although I did make a new pie. I saw a recipe for a pie that looked like it was smothered in cinnamon rolls. So you make you get puff pastry, and then you put down butter, and then you put down cinnamon, and then you roll it up into a roll, and then you cut the roll into little discs and use those discs to put on the bottom of the pie plate. And once you do that, you kind of flatten it in there, like you smush it down in there, and then what you do is you chop up a bunch of apples and add sugar and flour and a little more cinnamon. And then you throw the apples in there and kind of mound them up. And then you do another puff pastry and you roll it up and you cut it into little discs and you put it and then you put it down and you use a rolling pin to flatten it so that you can use it for a crust on top. And so that you get cinnamon roll on the bottom and cinnamon roll on the top and apples in the middle. And it seems to work pretty good. You also make sure you pick sweet apples. We picked what we thought were sweet apples, but it turns out they were pretty tart. So it was a good thing I added all the sugar of the recipe. Normally I cut the sugar back down on the recipes because you don't need that much sugar to get the sweetness out of it. But these apples were, they were tart. So I ended up, I ended up cutting up these apples and adding as much sugar as I could because it was just not tasty. Not tasty! It would have been tart. But, yeah, so it made a good pie, and it looked unusual. I'll post it up on Pinterest here soon saying recipes I've tried. I don't remember where I got it from. Oh, maybe I saw it on Facebook when I was just looking, since I can't post or like or comment or message. Yeah, a lot of my author friends were like, "Where did you go, Siobhan?" And I went, "Well, I haven't gone anywhere. Facebook just decided that I was too scary." I admit it. I've been making men run for years, so now I make Facebook run. What to do? There you go. That's kind of their modus operandi. The way they do things seems to be kind of heavy-handed and especially skewed toward male-centric perspectives. They're okay with putting up hate speech, and they're okay with putting up child porn, and they're okay with putting up violence against women, children, animals, and war images. Totally okay with that. They're okay with mostly naked women. They're okay with that. But if you put up a mostly naked man, especially on a page where the children can see it, which I didn't, they will toss you off Facebook saying, "You have violated our community standards." Yeah, so those community standards are okay with child porn and violence, naked women, but they're not okay with naked men. So it's very, very skewed. And, as an author who writes romance, and heroes are beautiful. We look at the heroes and we look at those men with, built up bodies. It's skewed toward the, what is it they call it? Cis heterosexual men. You can't show, men don't want to see male bodies, so why are you posting them? Oh, women don't count. We like looking at naked women, but they don't count. They're not really people. So don't worry about it. Just don't post naked men. And the frustration lies in the fact that I posted it in a, he wasn't naked, but in a closed group where people decided that what to do. You can't show that because the children will see it. No, it was a closed group that's adults only, but they're saving me from me. So there you go. So you're safe now. You don't have to see mostly naked men. Thank goodness, right? Anyway, that's why I'm not on Facebook. It's not that I'm not on Facebook. I'm just not on Facebook. But, it has forced me to start looking into new ways of interacting with all y'all. One of the things I can do is I can obviously do these live posts here where I'm interacting with you and I get to enjoy time and effort with you guys. I can go on Twitter, and I can interact with you there. If you guys have comments for me or want to tag me in something, I can do that. I can interact with you on Tumblr and Pinterest and Google+. Google+ is a lot like Facebook in that you can comment and interact that way. I think a lot of people don't know that, and so they don't spend a lot of time there. And besides, Facebook right now has really gotten a lot of attention, and a lot of people are, it's easy, right? You go there, you flip through stuff, you type up a comment, you interact, you like, da-da-da-da. Well, you can do that as well on Google+, but a lot of people don't know that. And so and Facebook is so easy. Just go on Facebook. Yeah, well, Facebook is also kind of Big Brother. They have loose community standards that don't necessarily, there's no equality in it. So, and when you complain and say, hey, there's hate speech, you need to stop this. Oh, it doesn't violate our community standards. Hey, there are bad images of violence that hurt children and hurt others. Oh, that doesn't violate our community standards. Hey, there's a naked woman. Doesn't violate our community standards. But the minute there's a naked man, it violates their community standards for nudity. So, there you go. But a lot of people won't leave Facebook. Facebook makes a lot of money for their investors. And a lot of people are just like, well, it's so easy. Well, yeah, it is easy. But that's why it's really hard for authors to go anywhere else. Because it's like, well, the readers and the viewers don't want to go anywhere else. They don't want to change. So, and that's okay. I mean, but eventually it's like, well, I can't spend time on a place that is going to lock me out just because I'm being adult and making adult decisions and, doing it in a place where children won't see it. But they said, no, we're going to smack your hand like a child and say, you can't do that. Okay, bye-bye. I'm going to move on. I'm going to go take my efforts and energies elsewhere. And I'm finding that to be the case too, because the reason I was going to start these live posts here on YouTube into 2018. Wait for 2018 to swing around and done. Facebook locked me out of my account. Okay, Facebook, you win. I'm going to do it on YouTube now. So all the money you made off of me being there, as a consumer, as a poster, as a person who brought people to Facebook and brought revenue in because I was there and all of these things, and the advertising that goes there, you win. I'm not going to be there. Hey, look at you. Look at you. You done did it. So I'm here. And the nice thing is, the question is, can I get people to notice that I'm here? We'll see. The more I do this, I suspect the more people will notice and show up. It was the same way when Facebook started doing those live posts, is that the more often I did it, the more people showed up and remembered that I was going to do it. So the idea here is, the subscriptions for YouTube are good because I'm hoping that what they do is they alert people that have subscribed to this channel that there's a new video. Hey, Heidi! Good morning, good morning, good morning, and Happy New Year! Yay! Yes, I am live. I am very much live. And I'm trying to do it more here, my dear. More here, my dear? Something like that. That with their stupid algorithm, you miss posts to your friends because you don't like and interact enough to suit the stupid thing. Exactly, Nellie. You're right. I can't like. I can't interact. I can't talk to all y'all. I can't do any of that. Why? Because they totally, change things around and they fool with it, and now I can't interact, so they're going to say, oh, well, she's not interested. Yeah, she's not interested. That kind of sucks, but yeah. Anyway, I hope, sorry we missed you last night, an unwanted, unexpected visitor. Oh, well, I'm sorry for your unwanted and unexpected visitor, but I'm sending happy thoughts to all y'all. It looks like the feed has frozen. Is that correct? Did I Did I notice that? Let's see if I can hang on for just 1 minute. We are experiencing technical difficulties. So, am I back? Do you see me? We're trying to make sure that it still is visible. Are we good? I'm hoping we're good. Anyway, yay, you're back. Okay, good. I was noticing that it was fooling with stuff, and I'm really sorry. I apologize. That was kind of odd, but we're not going to do that again. So, yeah. Well, I'm hoping that it goes well now that we're doing it over here. And you guys can see me at any time. Oh, good morning from Chile. Hello, Juan, welcome. So glad you're joining us today. Well, we talk about writing. We talk about hot men. We talk about romance. We talk about all sorts of things. Actually, one of the things we also talk about is, fun things to do like baking, because everybody likes eating what the results, and creative endeavors as well. So, and also asking me questions. Whoop, hotties. Heidi says, asking me questions is really helpful too, because then I can just go off on whatever. Whatever you want to know. I'm totally good with that. And I try to do this, like I said, I try to do this and making us hungry. Yes! I try to do this on Saturday evenings. It's all in U.S. time because I happen to live in the U.S., so I got to keep track of that. I can't I can't figure out whoever else is living, but I can tell you that the time zone is Mountain Time Zone in the U.S. That's what I can tell you. The rest of the world, you guys are going to have to translate. Now, what was I going to tell you? Oh, it's New Year's, right? Around the world. Now, I think Australia's getting close to New Year's switching over. And I know that the UK is like 8 hours ahead of me, 7 or 8 hours ahead of me. So, they're going to hit it first, obviously. Yeah. And it's morning for me. It's only 10:35 in the morning for me. So, there you go. That's where we're at. And it's 5:35 where Heidi is. Heidi's got less than 7 hours before New Year's. Yay! Yeah, I might do another little short live post tonight when it hits, New Year's and stuff like that. Maybe I'll do a live post then, and it'll be quick. I promise I won't make you sit through me yammering away at you for half an hour. But yeah, so I'm planning on doing that, and I'll be all gussied up and ready for the holiday. Yay! Although, like I said, it's snowing right now, and it's like 14 degrees Fahrenheit, so I'm not going to go outside if I can help it. There's snow on our front walk that needs to be shoveled, and I'm not going to do it. I'm just not. I admit it. I'm being good in cleaning than reading. You know what, Heidi? I need to do some reading and editing because I have a book coming out. Yeah, there is actually a book coming out. If you guys are curious, there's a book coming out on January 9th. It is done. I've done the editing. Don't worry about it. That one's clean. It's the one that's coming out in March that needs a little extra love. But we got about 3 to 4 inches of snow yesterday. Wow, I bet that was so pretty, Nellie. The weather's been really strange here. On Friday, it started out at 6 degrees. No, it started out at like 10 degrees, right? And then it warmed up all the way to like 50. This is all in Fahrenheit, so it's not Celsius. And we were like, okay. And then at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, it went from being 50 degrees down to 23. Ugh, it was freezing. And we're like, okay, I guess we're going down. So the next morning we wake up and it's 6 degrees Fahrenheit. Like, holy crap, that's terribly, terribly cold. And then it warmed up yesterday till another 50 degrees. And we're like, okay, what? And then last night it started to snow. It was fluffy and so easy to shuffle. I know. Isn't powder wonderful, Nellie? Powder is absolutely fabulous. Because if you have powder, I can use a broom and sweep my front porch if I want to. And you said it's raining there, Heidi? Yeah. It's raining here. It's just a lot colder and fluffier. Sounds like UK weather? Yeah, it is. It can be. It was really weird though that it was just like up and down and up and down and up and down. It was kind of like, huh? What's up with that? So yeah, we've been kind of like, well, so do we wear a light jacket or do we wear a wool hat and a scarf and gloves? It's like, what's going on outside? So yeah, it's been pretty crazy. And like I said, now it's snowing and it's, I don't know even if it's warmed up to more than 14. Scary. But yeah. What else can I tell you? Thank you for everyone who's been on Facebook and have been helping me share items because there's nothing I can do since I've been logged off. But I will remind everyone, if you could please come and find me on other social media platforms. I need that, as well as I want to interact with you in other places, because I don't want to give Facebook that much power, especially because they're kind of awful about it. Awful about it. It's not very nice. Anyway. Oh, yay! Heidi says she got my thank you note that I sent. She sent me some lovely things, and it only took me a while, Heidi, to get that thank you note to you. I apologize. That's not so awesome. But I do send thank you notes. They might take a while to get there, but I send thank you notes. So there, I do. Like, they better late than never. I've started to realize that the best way to send a thank you note, now internationally is different, but the best way to send a thank you note is by sending postcards. Because then all you have to write is say, thank you so much for the lovely gift. There you go. And you get a pretty picture on the other side. And, I have a whole bunch of Wyoming postcards, so I can send those. It is the thought that counts. Yes, it is. And gratitude. Sending an attitude of gratitude. That's important. So, I'm hoping you guys are staying warm wherever you are. Obviously, Nellie's got 3 to 4 inches of snow, and we don't have very much snow, but it's so cold out there, the flakes are really, really little. So even though there's a lot of it, it's not accumulating, at least not huge. So yeah, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So what else can I tell you? You guys have any questions for me since you took the effort to come and see me this morning? I appreciate that. I know it's a Sunday morning and it's a holiday, and people are probably cooking and cleaning and getting ready for whatever celebrations they're having tonight. We're going to do some cleaning today because the house is a mess. And I've been writing a lot, so you're new to my channel? Well, welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome. I'm so grateful you're here. I tend to do these live posts. I used to do these live posts on Facebook, and because it was really convenient and it was very great to interact with people. But Facebook started playing games and also not showing this to anybody. So it's nice that I have new viewers, but also good to see everybody. And some of the folks from Facebook are coming and following my channel and then interacting with me, because then the live chat is excellent, because now I can talk to all y'all. Heidi says she has free blog space if you had anything for me to share a promo. I do, Heidi. I will send you, since I can't do it through Facebook, I will send you an email of, I guess, the new cover, the blurb, and maybe the links. Would you like those? Is that what you like? Or do you want me to write a post? I can do that too. I'm a writer. I do that sort of thing. You know, that's what I do. It's my job. So, what is the name of the book? The new book that is coming. It is currently on pre-order. It's called Burning Yuletide. It is a paranormal holiday firefighter romance. And it, as my tagline is, it's kick-ass adventure with hot sex. Oh, and then there will be another book coming out in March, but I don't have the cover for that one yet, so I can't share it. But it is called Cloudburst Coffee and Spa, and it'll be part of a box set. So I will share that as soon as I have it. I don't think I can show you. No, oh, wait, did I print it? Oh, I did, and I put it way up there. My cover is right here. The problem is I'm not going to get up there and pull it down so you guys can see it. You can find me, however, if you want to see the books. I have lots of books. There's 24 books at least right now. And they're all on my page, which is siobhanmuir.com/books. I know, hard to remember. But you can find all my books there, including the new one that is coming out on January 9th. It is up for pre-order. And then we'll see what the Muse wants to write in between the March release and the January release. I have the best covers. Oh, thank you, Heidi. Yay! I love the covers. My cover artist, Chris Norris, is like jaw-droppingly excellent at making these covers just shine. She's really remarkable in her ability to do that, and she makes me look so good. And the idea is to look good first before you read the story. I will send it over as soon as I get off here, Heidi. I will definitely do that. Yeah, I know. I was trying to think about it. I will celebrate. Matter of fact, I have something coming. In February is my 6th anniversary as a published author. So I will be doing a big giveaway of 6 calendars that have my book covers in them. So they'll be in February, and I will do a big thing, and I will promote it everywhere I can. Are they series? There are several series. There are several series. YS books. Why, yes. No, there are several series. One of them is the Cloudburst series. That's paranormal romance. There is the Bad Boys of Beta Squad, which is military Navy SEAL, romantic suspense. There's the Triple Star Ranch series, which is Wyoming Cheyenne Cowboys. You have the 3rd anniversary coming out in January? Ooh, not sure. I know, it's kind of like, what do I do to celebrate? So yes, YS books, there are several series. There's a couple standalones because I just didn't have any stories that came after them. I mean, I do have other ones, but most of them are in a series of one kind or another. There's the Warbler Peninsula series. The new book that's coming out, The Holiday Romance, is part of the Warbler Peninsula series, which is also paranormal romance. So I write romance. I like that the characters get together in the end. So all of my books have a romantic theme. However, I need sneak. So it's usually romantic suspense. Do I have any advice for writing a series? Probably not the best, because the way I write is I write a story, and sometimes I get a sequel to it, and then other times the sequel comes much later after I've written something else. I never do them all in order. Meaning, you start with book 1, and then you write book 2 and book 3. I don't do them like consecutive. I tend to write a book, and then I get a sequel to it, and I'll write that one, and then my muse goes, oh, look, bright, shiny object, and off I go and write in a different series. For example, the one that's coming out now is in the Warbler Peninsula series, and it is a paranormal holiday firefighter romance. But the next one that's coming out is back in the Cloudburst series, and it is a kind of a paranormal urban fantasy, right? There's magical humans, and every now and again they run across a creature that is a human. So there's that one. And then the other one that I'm working on right now is a romantic suspense that is, military folk. So it's kind of like, the way I write is not consecutive. But that doesn't always work for you. Have to find what works for you. So when I write whatever the muse wants to talk about. And I'm usually writing about 4 at once because, the muse wants to talk about different things. Some people can write boom, 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 every single book that they want. So do you keep a book Bible to keep track of characters for your series, like in Beta Squad? I probably should, but I don't. I probably should. My mind actually categorizes everybody, so I kind of remember where they are. But as I get older, I probably should write them down. I think a lot of writers do, Nellie. I think they do, and it's really important for them because they do want to go back and say, okay, well, what happened with the characters from the first book? A lot of them stick out in my mind. So when I was like, okay, so what happened to who's he, what's it back there in the thing? Yeah, I will go back and just read it. But I probably should write them down. I just don't have that organizational skill because it's kind of like, why am I wasting time writing them down? I have other stories to write. So maybe that's my lazy factor. You're stuck on the 4th book? Maybe I should write something else. You should. You absolutely should. If you're not stuck, if you're stuck on a book, let it sit. Because what I will do, I never get writer's block. And here's why. I write a whole bunch of books at once. And so if I'm stuck on this one, I let it sit and percolate. And my mind just thinks about it and thinks about it while I'm writing something else. That way I'm always writing and stories are always moving forward. But if you're stuck on this one, you got to let it think. Because sometimes the story doesn't happen. The one that's coming out in March, I started in 2013, and it just sat there because it was like I don't know how it's going. I don't have anything. Boom! I wrote it at the end of 2017. Done. It's finished. So, yay! Thanks, Puka! Yay! Good to see you. I'm so glad you're here. Heidi says she did a book Bible for an author. Exactly. I could. But that means I'm not writing the story. And again, I admit that being lazy. But if you are stuck on a book, set it aside. Let your mind think about it. Because your mind's going to think about it. It's going to like, okay, eventually. But if you can't get any new ideas, go and write something else. That one can wait. Because you don't want to force it. If you force a book, the readers are going to know it. Let me tell you, the readers are going to know it. They're totally going to be like, well, that one sucked. Because you were forcing it. You were pushing it. Like, it's got to get done. It got to get done. Yeah, it's got to get done. But remember, you want it to be done the best rather than kind of like, eh. That's why Cloudburst Coffee and Spa took me this long. You got bribed? Well done, Heidi. Well done. You got bribed and that's how you okay. Note to self. Note to self. Bribe Heidi and she'll do my book Bible. Yeah, well, we'll see. But I can totally tell when a book is forced. It's never a good story. It could be a good story, but it's not a great story. And as I've gotten older in terms of writing, I've given myself permission not to do that, not to finish this book because it has to be done. I don't do that. I can't do that, and because I'm unwilling. I tried that. Actually, I tried that last summer. I forced a book. I forced it out. I was like, "You're gonna get finished. I don't care if you don't want to write it. You're gonna get finished." And it was crap. Oh, it was crap. And there a lot of things happened right at the right time too. It was finished, but it was crap. The characters were kind of phoning it in, like, I'm not even really participating, we're gonna put the story down, and it was lame, and I was like, God, this is a paranormal romance, and I'm bored. And then I took a step back, and then an editor who hasn't worked with me, she said, I can make your writing so much better. Your writing's not that great. And I'm going, thanks. That not only does the story suck, but now you're telling me that I do. Fantastic. Boy, that makes me feel awesome. Could you just grind my ego into the floor a little more, please? I wasn't feeling it right now. But and so what I ended up doing is I ended up talking to another author friend of mine she's one of my she was one of my favorite authors when I was just a reader. And so I talked to her and I said, I don't know what I'm doing. She goes, well, what about this? And I went, oh, huge idea. And I added to the book and I added more stuff and things got exciting. And I'm like, and then I produced the book. Let's see, I finished it in August of 2016 and it didn't come out until January of 2017. But it's a good book now. And it's called The Valkyrie's Sword, and it sucked. It sucked until I fixed it. So yeah, set it aside. Let yourself rest. You'll get it. My reviews are causing the problem. I have gotten 5 stars for the first 3 books, so the pressure is building. Don't worry about reviews. I'm going to tell you this now. This is a secret that I've learned. Reviews are not for you. They're not. You as the author, they ain't for you. And reviews are like belly buttons. Everyone has a review, and it's their opinion. It's their opinion of your work. It's not about you. And the other thing is, they don't really matter to you as the author. They matter to others. They're important to others. They also get more visibility, but they don't really matter to you. And the reason they don't matter to you is you're writing the best story for you. Not for them, for you. You have to write the best story for you. And other people's opinions, they're appreciated, obviously. But if you ever get a bad review, look at it as, wow, evidently my story failed to get this person's attention off of whatever's bothering them. It's not about your work. It's that you didn't distract them enough. And their review is right for them. And it's their opinion. But it's not about you or your work. You have to write the best story for you. That's why I didn't put out The Valkyrie's Sword until I was sure it was done. Because it wasn't the best story for me. Didn't matter what other people thought. Although the reviews I got back for it was like, you need to work on this. Like, yeah, I know that. So I know you don't want to let them down. And that's okay. But you still have to write the book for you. Because the readers who love you and know your books and know your writing will love you and know you and love your books forever. Right? Because they'll keep going and they'll never give up on you. But only if you write the best book for you. Now, they're not going to like every single book. Don't ever expect that. They're not. It's, I have my favorite authors. I've read a couple of their books where I'm like, what were you writing? That one didn't grab me. It doesn't mean I won't ever read the author again. It was just like, well, that one's not one I like. But it doesn't matter. The rest of their books I really enjoy. You're welcome. You're very welcome. You're very welcome, YS Books. You're totally welcome because it's really important for you to write for you. And the readers will respond to that too. Can't please everyone in life or books. I've read 5-star books. Yeah, I've read books that have gotten 5 stars and I thought, why? Because it didn't grab me. And in which case I'm just like, well, that one's not my cup of tea. And I moved on. And I didn't have to say anything nasty about it. I was just like, this one really didn't do it for me. And it's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. I think people get really worked up about reviews because they're like, well, if they didn't like it, it's still your story. You are the expert on your story. Therefore, if it's your story and you love it, you love it. That's okay. One of my favorite stories that I've written, I always go back and read. I'm like, gosh, this was a good story. This was a really good story. It's The Beltane Witch. Doesn't sell very well. Strangely enough, it doesn't sell very well. But it's one of my favorite stories. It's one of my hottest stories too. But I love the characters. And I love the interaction they have to go through, that they have to learn from each other, and they have to grow. And I can't get people to pick it up. Now, it could be a cost thing. It could be that a lot of people don't like to read witches. Whatever it is, it's a good story, and I love it. It's one of my favorites. But again, I don't really worry about reviews, and I don't read them either. I don't read reviews unless you know, Mr. SM, I let my husband, Mr. SM, read them first. And he can tell me how they are. Because, again, opinions, while they are not necessarily directed at me, can derail me if I'm unfocused. So I let him read them, and then he can tell me if they were good, bad. And then, of course, if I get a bad review, I go and read all my 5-star reviews. I mean, if I'm going to take reviews as gospel, I might as well take the 5-star reviews as gospel and, you know, and say, well, it was a fluke for the 1-star review. You know, if you're going to take reviews as gospel, which are somebody else's opinions, you might as well take the good ones as gospel, right? Go read the good ones. It'll restore your faith in yourself. That's always good. What was the author of that book? Of which book? Vexed. Sorry. Who was the author? Who was the author of which book? I had the same, Siobhan. Yeah, exactly. People have rated 1-star, right? Yeah, well, whatever. You know, my favorite book. Who was the author? Oh, of The Beltane Witch. That was mine. It was one of my favorite stories of mine. Sorry. Yeah, The Beltane Witch is my book. And it doesn't sell. Like I said, it doesn't sell very well. But whatever. It's the second book in the Cloudburst series. So the first book is A Hellhound's Fire, Beltane Witch. The third one is Christmas Ice Magic. The fourth one is Cloudburst Ice Magic, and the fifth one comes out in March, and it's the Cloudburst Coffee and Spa, which is a companion tale to the Beltane Witch. So that was one of my favorite stories that I wrote. In terms of my favorite book, I started out as a science fiction fantasy reader. I love it. I love science fiction fantasy. One of my favorite books of all time is called The Deed of Paxenarian by Elizabeth Moon, and it's a story of a sheep herder's daughter that becomes a warrior and then eventually becomes a paladin, which is a kind of a divinely backed knight character, you know, like a warrior specifically that has the backing of a saint or a god or something like that. And it's my all-time favorite. It is like you took Tolkien and you said, okay, but the main character is going to be a woman. And she's going to have to fight against misogyny and expectations that women can't do certain things and losing her abilities and facing her fears. And it's an amazing... It was a trilogy originally. It goes The Sheep Herder's Daughter, and then, like... There was a middle book whose name I don't recall, and then The Oath of Gold. And but they put it together in a trilogy set that was called The Deed of Paxenarian. Paxenarian's the heroine, the main character, and it was really good. So it is my all-time favorite, and I go back and read it. I mean, my copy's dog-eared because it was a paperback, but yeah, I totally recommend that one. That was my favorite book that I didn't write. You already have that one, Vexed? It's a good one. It's a hot one. It's hot. It was one of the first times I had written a sex scene where I was focused. And I'm like, Mr. SM better come home from work soon. I need to take care of some of this energy. So just saying. Just saying. So Heidi says, I read a book by a well-known author. I love her, but I couldn't stand the one character. I did good 3-star review. Someone threatened to kill me because I rated it 3 stars. Oh, for goodness sake. Have I turned any of my books into audio? You know, I haven't yet. And a lot of people have been asking me that, and I'm like, well, I don't know how the system works that allows the narrator to get paid and then allows me to get paid, and I'm not up on that yet, and I need to look into it more because I know people are asking me, but I haven't done it. I haven't done it yet, but that doesn't mean I won't. The kid was asking me questions when you said the full book name, and I caught the witch, the Beltane Witch. Yes, and the book that's coming out in March, like I said, is called Cloudburst Coffee and Spa, and it happens simultaneously with the Beltane Witch. The Beltane Witch is Sabrina Foxglove and Darius Winterbourne's story. The Cloudburst Coffee and Spa is her friend Moira Callahan, and the hero is Aidan Westmoreland, and it's their story. And they happen concurrently, but they go off in different directions. So the Beltane Witch does this, and you interact with Moira a little bit, and then Moira's story goes that way, and you interact with Sabrina a little bit. So they're concurrent, but they went off in different directions. And like I said, I finished the Beltane Witch in 2013, and I started the Cloudburst Coffee and Spa and stalled. But it finished this year. So they happen concurrently, but they went off in different directions. So they will be. You haven't made that leap either? Yeah. Sometimes it's a little hard, and I haven't looked into it enough. So, but hey, you guys, I've been yapping at you for like 45 minutes now, so I'm going to duck off and finish my coffee and have breakfast and things like that. Thank you so much for joining me. Gosh, I really appreciate you guys made the effort. I am going to get editing, because the Cloudburst Coffee and Spa apparently won't edit itself. You see how that is? You see how that is? They don't edit themselves. What is that? But thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it. Happy New Year. I'm going to see if I can do a short, really short, so not 45 minutes, or 46 minutes, but a really short live post tonight. Happy New Year from Siobhan Muir. Do check back. Thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. And I do this every weekend, so you guys can see me live. And Facebook doesn't get to make the choices. So I hope you guys are good. And yeah, I will talk to you later. So Happy New Year! Happy New Year! And thank you. Yes! Thanks for the chat. I appreciate it. I'll talk to you later. Okay, bye-bye.